Right guys, don't know how well this is going to work, but this is basically first time streaming, so it might work, it might not work, I don't know. But I need to do this final shakedown before the big race tonight. So let's get going and I will talk some more.
Pit lane speed limit is 60 kilometers per hour.
Alright, so in case you haven't guessed, the race is going to be at Spa. This is the 24 hours of Spa, so absolutely awesome, can't wait. Racing with one of the Alpha guys teams this time out, rather than Cabot, so it's going to be good I think. Team seems really good, some quick guys in there, seems to be on the pace. Just need to make sure I don't bin the car basically. So I'll be doing two double night stints, which is kind of what I like really because I work nights anyway. If I'm right already. So in this session I'm basically just testing my kind of out laps, because this car is very tricky on new tyres, on cold tyres basically. So it's the setup we are using means that the car is quite loose to start with, and then gets kind of like, as the rear heats up, it's actually a very quick setup, but the first few laps are tricky and I don't really want to bin it, so I'm doing a few out laps, and I'm also using it as a way to practice my pit in kind of entries as well, because the last thing you want to do is do a really good stint, kind of go into the pit and then crash in the pit lane, and this pit lane isn't the easiest. This corner here is an absolute nightmare. See how much I lifted, and it's still all over the place. It's that'll be the one corner in the race on new tyres where you have to just be so careful. So I'm going to do this lap, and then I'm going to come in. I'm going to do another lap, exactly the same. Come in, just so I get the experience of going out there on the new tyres. That wasn't very good, was it? It also gives me, and then I'm going to do about 10 laps just to get dialed into race pace again. I've done about 80 laps in practice, so I kind of know it like the back of my hand really. Rouge as well needs a little lift first time out, probably second time out as well actually, and then the third time it will be flat. Absolutely love night races, and iRacing, the Le Mans 24 hour was absolutely stunning, it really was. I mean, look how good that looks in the background, you know, it's absolutely brilliant. People say iRacing doesn't look great, but you get a decent PC and you turn the graphics up, I think it looks pretty good. You know what I mean? Like the cars look amazing as well with the look like kind of 2K textures. It does look good, I think. Right, we'll do pit stop this lap. Oh my word. Oh my god. Still not warmed up yet. So there, you see I've got one time. So for people who don't play iRacing, basically that's an incident point. And you can have a certain amount of incident points during a race before you have to take a penalty. And then if you have too many incident points, then you basically end up being disqualified. So you have to be very careful about that. And you get instant points for cutting corners or running wide on corners, and also contact with other cars, and also spinning. So you have to kind of
Watch your speed limit in the pits. Look out for the pit speed limit. Box in 1,070 metres.
That wasn't too bad of an entry, I think. The entry going in is super tricky, you know what I mean? Like, and it's no point in risking it. There's just no point in risking it. Definitely better safe than sorry there. This little bit's interesting actually. So you come down here and you've got this little chicane bit, and you have to kind of really, you have to do a little lift off, I think, really. Otherwise you would hit the wall. So yeah, that's a bit tricky. So yeah, so basically I've got to make sure I don't run wide too often, stuff like that. And you know, whenever you try and push the pace, you always end up running a little bit wide here and there, don't you? And too many of them, and you know, when a drive through here is going to take ages. 60k pit lane speed limit, massive long pits. It'll be disaster. You know, you're going to lose after that.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Box now.
Right, so we're just going to change tyres and go out again. I assume they're changing tyres. Have you done it? Have you changed tyres yet? I don't know, I'm going to exit out and then go back in. That's probably the best way to do it, isn't it? There we go, fresh car.
Limiter's still on, disengage it.
Obviously during a 24-hour race as well, got to be really careful for damage. At the Le Mans race, we did really well. I don't think we had a single bit of damage. This was for the 24. The one I posted up was the 6-hour one. I think we did get damage in that one, and having to drag the car around with damage the whole time. It was only about a second off, I guess, but it's just annoying. You know, you want the car to be kind of as you expect it to be, you know. So I'm doing my practice here, but if we end up with rear end damage and we end up with less downforce to the back, then I'm gonna have to learn kind of the car on the fly, really, where the limits are, and it's really not ideal, you know. And in such a long race, it's really not. Again, this is a bit of a tricky one on new tyres. You've got to really be careful to keep the car in one piece, you know. Also depends what your motivations are as well, I suppose. If you are going for the win, if you have got 3-4 drivers who are absolute aliens and you think, yeah, you know what, we could actually win this, then I suppose you just go hell for leather for the whole 24 and you just hope that you kind of can do it, you know. But I think for most teams it'll be a case of keep the car in good condition for the first 8 hours, everything gets a bit more spread out, everyone, you know, no one's really fighting all that hard. Try and stay on the lead lap for as long as you can, and then just, you know, if the car's in one piece and you're not making mistakes, then you can push on after that. You know, everyone's very settled in the car and you can just make up a lot of time. But if you damage that car early on into something that is unnecessary, it's just, you're going to lose so much time. And yeah, most people will be happy with the top 5, you know. I think if you can keep the car clean the entire race, limit the amount of spins you have to literally 2 or 3, and your pace in general is good, I reckon most people would get a top 5. And you know, we got a 4th place finish in the LMP2 class at Le Mans. Now obviously that's multi-class race, and I think there were about 20 odd cars or something in that race. So you know, it was in this race I think there's going to be like 57, and it's obviously not multi-class, it's all GT3s. So I think if we could get, so I think, yeah, to be fair, if we keep it on track, probably top 10, but it depends what our pace is like, and what split we're in, and how many people crash off and stuff. So you know, top 5 would be just a fantastic result. I really don't think you can really do much better than that unless you have got, like I say, like 3 or 4 really top line drivers. You know, kind of the 5,000 iRating type. Not too bad. Right, one more pits then. Whoa, okay.
Watch your speed. Box in 1,070 metres.
The thing is, although you want to be cautious coming in, you don't want to be too cautious, because so I did a ILMS race, which is basically the iRacing 1 Series race. It's an hour, 1 pit stop. Throwing this guy, he seemed pretty decent. I think I caught him up a bit after an earlier incident I had, and so we both pitted at the same time. And he obviously hadn't practiced his pit stops in the slightest at Suzuka, so he's swept in round, and he just braked like 100 yards too early. I've kind of managed to slam on the brakes. Obviously, he's realised that he's then slow too early, so he's accelerated. So I've accelerated, and he's braked again too early, and I've ended up rear-ending him. So it was, you know, obviously kind of my fault, but at the same time, if he'd have practiced his pit entry, he wouldn't have got rear-ended. So,
4, 3,
in the same way,
2,
I don't want to be
1.
massively slow
Box now.
coming in, like super cautious, if it then means that. So have they actually changed the tyres here? Ah, they're changing the tyres this time. Yeah, so like I say, you don't want to be too cautious coming in, because then someone's going to end up rear-ending you. And it's the same through Blanchimont, you know. It's right being, oh, I'm going to be careful and really lift off and go through it. But if someone else isn't behind you, they're not expecting you to do that, especially at the start of the race, it's going to be tricky. Right, we're going to do a 10-lap run now. That's going to be about 20 minutes, isn't it? Be about right. Don't want to do too much before the race, to be honest. So what I normally do is I put my practice in the days beforehand, and then kind of the day of the race, I'll just do a quick warm-up beforehand and leave it there. It's quite mentally draining, you know, doing stints like this. So you've got to, especially doing the double stints, so you don't want to be kind of mentally fatigued beforehand. Whoa, yeah. Got to be pretty switched on at the start, I tell you. This is where now, having done a few laps, I'm kind of, oh yeah, feeling comfortable, it's fine, but this car will bite you on cold tyres. The thing is, you know, when you first jump into a car in an event like this, you're pretty nervous. You know, you're pretty switched on. You're not kind of certainly won't be talking to camera or anything like that, because you've got to be, you know, super switched on. But sometimes, if you're nervous, you bake kind of like quick kind of things on the wheel, and that's literally the worst thing you can do, especially through here. If you overreact, you're going to end up being spat the other way, and you kind of have to be. When I played cricket at quite a high level, there was a phrase when batting that was used a lot, which was relaxed concentration. I think it's the same with this really. You need to be relaxed, but you need to be concentrating. So certainly talking to camera is probably not the best thing. But certainly, yeah, you need to be kind of switched on, but not so overly focused that you can't, that you kind of overreact to things, you know. That's where practice, you know, the more practice you do, you've seen every scenario before, you kind of know how to say everything, and also it helps your confidence as well, knowing that you've done everything that you can do.
Sector 1 is quick.
You know, in sport, you'll feel nervous when you haven't practiced, when you haven't prepared. It's the same with stuff like a job interview, I suppose, you know. Always nervous during job interviews, but if you feel like you've prepared as much as you possibly can and you've got all the information you could have possibly got and you've prepared all your answers as best you can, then you'll certainly feel less nervous than if you hadn't put in the time, you didn't know exactly what you were going to say, you didn't know, you hadn't done your prep properly, you're going to be far more nervous.
Sector 2 time is quick.
A bit of a stutter through there. With the 60 odd cars, it's going to be even worse. So might actually have to turn down the graphics a little bit, but we'll see how it's going. Luckily, my first stint isn't until quite a long way into the race, so. I think things should be quite spread out and that. I mean, at Le Mans, you're always overtaking cars or letting cars through, like the NF1 cars.
220.90. Sector 3 time is fast.
That's not a bad little lap time, actually. The track's quite cold, so it will be quite quick. Right, less of a lift through Rouge this time. There we go, seems to be fine.
Sector 1 time's okay.
I do wonder how the double stints are going to be here compared to the ones at Le Mans. Like at Le Mans, you've got such long straights, and you can kind of almost switch off a bit on the straights. Whereas here, you're working all the time. You know, you've got the Kemmel, which is a godsend, and obviously you've got the back straight as well. But far more switched on here than at Le Mans. So I think mentally, at the end of a double, it's going to be concentration is going to be going.
Sector 2 time is okay.
Always think doing the night stints in endurance races, it's about, you know, the guys go to bed, you know what I mean, most of the guys go to bed and the night guys take over. And really, all the day guys are looking for is the car still to be in one piece at the end of the night. You know, if you can have decent pace, make up a few positions, fantastic. But you know, like, when they're going to bed, all they're thinking is, please let me have a car in the morning, you know. So that is definitely the first and foremost thing to do. You know, you're never going to win the race at night, you know. But
just
if
done
you
a
certainly use it.
220.40. Sector 3 time is quick.
Now, while the tyres are fresh, might try and put in a decent lap here, but wasn't the best first corner. Let's see what we can do. And a little bit of time.
Sector 1 time is good.
Slow down too much there. Lost loads of time. Not to get on the power very early there at all. Didn't settle the car.
Sector 2 is 0.37 off your best.
That seemed like a pretty good corner, but apparently I lost loads of time on it. I get confused with this sometimes, honestly. This and Assetto, sometimes you think you've nailed a corner and the Delta says you haven't. And it's like, oh, alright, great. That's why Delta's so helpful, to be fair. Because the Delta never lies. Whereas your own perception does. Right, 10 slower. Come on, let's see if we can dip into the 19s before the end.
You've just done a 220.50. Sector 3 time's okay.
So as the fuel bleeds off, you do get faster, but the tyres go off a little bit as well. So you kind of, the times can stay very consistent, and then it seems like towards the end of a stint, you actually get quite a bit faster with the lack of fuel. So that's as close as I can push a Rouge without getting a 1 times, I think. Then once you get down to about 20 litres, the car suddenly comes alive and you really start to motor, but
Sector 1 time is good.
so I don't get a good lap in now, the tyres will start to go off a little bit and you don't get the advantage from the fuel, so you kind of end up in kind of no man's land of not being able to improve. Obviously during the race, you're not focused on a kind of, oh, I've got to try and dip into the 19s. You just, I will just bang out lap after lap after lap, and you know, if you bang out 20s, I think that'll be pretty good. There's no point dipping into 19s if you then have a spin and it costs you 10 seconds, you know, because that's 10 laps worth of, you know, gaining 1 second, you know, which is a huge difference. Keep losing time for that corner, I don't know. I don't know if I should be changed down to second, but I just feel like third's a much smoother, consistent way of doing it. So I think for the race, that's got to be done, really. That's the one place where I will take a ×1. If I think the car's a little bit unsettled, I will 100% take a ×1 there. Ugh, that's a little bit faster. I think I might struggle to get into 19s now.
20.36. Sector 3 is a 10th off your best.
Where did we lose the time? Yeah, sector 3. Poo on, I think. Although a Rouge looks pretty easy fat, if you don't get the right line, you still run wide. It's yeah, you have to really know that.
Sector 1 time's okay.
Track temp might be a bit higher than last time I did it, which might be why I don't quite have the grip, but we'll check and get out. I say that, but I always say to myself, oh, I must check the track temp when I get out, and I never fucking do. That was better. I gained at least a tenth there. Around wide and get the car in.
Sector 2 is a tenth off your best.
We got a tenth. We got a little bit more. Come on, come on, come on. Lost a bit of time into that stop. Come on. No, not quite a 19 yet. Whoa, 2 tenths off. Come on.
Time was 2:20.19. Sector 3 time is fast.
Problem is, if you look for lap time, you will not get it. Here with no fuel, you always gain on your delta a lot. Like you'll probably gain a good like 10, maybe even 2 up here with no fuel, and then you can brake a bit later as well, which always helps.
Sector 1's quick.
And sometimes when you nail that complex, you gain so much time. Unfortunately, I only do it rarely. That's where the aliens, you know, the really quick guys, it's those sort of sectors which they just nail every time. Look at my Optimus at 19.7, because probably one time I did nail it, you know, so there's still more time to poo on, I know there is, but it's whether I want to risk it. Probably don't, to be honest. Again, this sector here, I'm kind of tidy, but I know there's more time, especially on the entry, but
Your sector 2 time is quick.
surprised I didn't get times 1 there. I think they've adjusted the track limits there. So I'm sure when I practiced before, I used to get times 1 doing that. So that's interesting to know, but it's probably best to leave that as a buffer. Oh, caught the first one. Didn't do me harm though. Come on, 19. Do me a 90. Ah,
Your last
no.
lap time was at 2:20.07. Sector 3 time's okay.
Oh no, mucked that up. That's it, as soon as you go looking for time. Alright, this will be the last lap I think anyway. This has gone pretty well. Confidence is up there. Practice my pit stops, practice my co-tyre outlaps. I'll probably do a co-tyre outlap actually before I step in the car. I'll just do it like a test session like this. Just to get used to the kind of the re-co tyres again.
Sector 1 is a tenth off your best.
It's a good exit out there. too early. This P1's weird, like you can easily carry in more speed and just run it a bit wider, but you just lose so much time.
Sector 2 is 1/10 off your best.
Oh, that's rubbish. Really bad. So that's if I kind of trying to carry in a bit more speed, you just end up losing those. So should we try bunch one flat? Let's try it. What the hell? Nothing to lose now. Oh yeah, you always get that one times. Always.
Watch the track limits, please, Tim. Watch your speed. Look out for the pit speed limit. Box in 1,070 metres.
I think I got it slowed down in time there. So I'll be streaming later anyway, if this has worked. I don't even know if this has worked, so I might be talking to no one. Yeah, I don't know. I'll say no. I mean, I know no one's actually watching this stream now, but I'll probably upload the video later or something, and then yeah, if you're watching that or something, then the race is tonight, so I'll be streaming probably. But I did get a few stutters at the back end of the course, so I don't know. I might turn graphics down or might not stream at all, to be honest. Sometimes I just like to concentrate on the race. When you feel like you have to entertain an audience, it's a bit
Box in 5.
it does distract you a little bit, I'm not gonna lie.
3, 2, 1. Box now.
Well, the more you do it, I suppose, the better you get, don't you? So there we go. End of practice. Join me for the race later, if you want. Let's have a look. Where are we?